Okay, so the Google Hangout is live. My name is Suzanne Xu, and I'm currently waiting for my counterpart, Grace Chung, to help me out over here. I'm currently a Yale student and part of KAST College. Grace is part of KAST RM in Maryland. Grace, how are you doing on that front?
Yeah, I can't see it.
Okay. So you can't see it from the YouTube page, or you can't see it?
Oh, wait. I see you. Okay.
On YouTube page or at Google, like, can you join the broadcast?
No, I can only see YouTube.
Okay, so this is how we're doing it then. I'm going to screen share the PowerPoint, and then Grace is currently on the phone. And once I screen share the PowerPoint, do you think you can just help me present on that front? Okay, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just make the PowerPoint a little larger.
I can see you as you broadcast it.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes. Okay, so we're specifically discussing fundraising for KAST and getting money so you can buy supplies and whatnot. So let's scroll on down. Okay, why is fundraising important? As I mentioned, we need money to buy science equipment, materials for the lesson plans. The science equipment is for larger demonstrations. We have national expenses such as maintaining our WordPress website and also supporting KAST Camp, which is one of our initiatives where we provide a week or 2 week long summer sessions with new science session plans and a bit of some old ones mixed in. And the reason why we need fundraisers is because our KAST after school programs are completely free. So any expenses we get accumulate from our after school programs need to be handled via donations or outside funds. Grace, anything to add?
No, I can't see the PowerPoint anymore.
Oh, did the PowerPoint flicker out?
No, it doesn't show like to the minute of what you're doing. I thought it did, but it doesn't.
Okay, so I'm currently on the fundraising slide.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you covered everything.
Okay, so now we're on the slide how to fundraise. So Grace and I will both discuss bake sales. Grace will have a little bit more about lollipop sales, and then we'll go through the rest together. So one more slide down. Okay, ooh, too many. Okay, bake sales. It is very important that if you're going to do a bake sale, you call your local supermarket early on. Girl Scouts in the Maryland area are highly competitive, so they're always booking basically every Saturday once their cookies come in. So you need to make sure that A, you don't have a conflict with another group, and B, that there are spots available, like period. I say call weeks in advance, but another tactic is to just go up and talk to the manager, because half the time that's the best way to do it, because they will have a written calendar, and this way you can make sure you got on it. For most people, Saturday early afternoon works best, plus you get a decent number of people coming in for their weekly groceries. You need to make sure that you have at least 3 to 4 presentable homemade goods, and I don't mean like 3 cookies, I mean like 3 cookies or brownies or something like that, to kind of display on the table, because you want to make sure that everything looks neat and that effort went in. Half the time people aren't really interested in the baked goods themselves, they're interested in the effort you put in and in supporting your cause. Grace, you want to cover the last 2 points?
Yeah, one thing about scheduling bake sales, you can also schedule all the bake sales you want in advance. So for example, go in the summer and talk to the manager and schedule all the bake sales you want. It's really helpful for setting up a schedule and planning your year. So on to the next slide. want to add?
Just the part about the donation.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. So when you're at the bake sale, you should ask people to give by donation. And for example, just say like everything's by donation. It's any amount that you want to give. Don't ask for a standard amount or put a price tag on any of the items so that they can give as much as they want. And sometimes people are really nice and give, for example, like $20, or even once we had someone give a $100 bill.
And then there's also some legal parts where you're allowed to ask for donations, but you can't make people pay for certain goods, which is why bake sales are by donation. And make sure you have at least some sort of poster on the table or behind you indicating what organization you're working for. KAST Maryland branch, KAST Boston branch, something like that. Okay, I'm going to scroll one down. Okay, I'm on slide 2 of bake sales. Grace?
Okay. So at the bake sale, a way to really boost your sales or boost the amount of money you get is when people are walking by your table to enter Giant, you just make a pitch, like say, hi, how are you? And say, would you like to support our nonprofit KAST? And give a short sentence of description. Be very short because they're probably going to try to walk by fast. But this way, if you reach out to them directly, they're more likely to give money and to be more interested. Also mention your high school if the supermarket is near it. For example, in Richmond, Montgomery, we go to a Giant really close to RM, and RM alumni like to give to us. Be professional and describe KAST if asked. Just talk really quickly about what we do. We offer a free science program for elementary schools, and you can talk a little bit about what we need the money for. And don't eat next to the table, which is just part of being professional.
And being sanitary.
Yeah.
Real quick, it's going to feel sometimes a little bit uncomfortable just talking to random strangers like, hi, would you like to donate to our nonprofit KAST? We offer free science programs. Yeah. But here's the thing. It's much easier to avoid donating if you don't make any contact with the people who are trying to fundraise. By reaching out to them, you're trying to establish a connection and just make them more aware of your presence and of your cause. Okay, next slide. Ozark Lollipops.
Okay, so this is something we have been doing at Richmond, Montgomery for a long time, or 3 years or something. So there's a company called Ozark, and they sell different flavor lollipops. They have a really wide range of flavors, so we like to use them. Basically what we do is we give 20 lollipops to each student who wants to sell, and we definitely put it in a KAST logo bag. We like to do that because it associates us with those lollipops and helps spread the word about KAST as well as making money for us. And when you're selling them or helping others sell them, make sure you ask people at school and even at home or around the neighborhood. It's not just limited to RM. Each lollipop is $1, and you can advertise the interesting flavors. Like I said, there's a really wide variety, and they even have stuff like pickle, which I don't know why, but some people like to buy just to try once. So that's it's a good way to advertise it, and it draws people to both give you money and advertise for KAST. Do you have something to add?
They always come in variety packs. So just don't order too many or too little. That's like obvious advice, but it's harder to manage than you think because you just want to, before you buy any products, get a sense of how many people would buy it at your school. And it's usually better to undershoot and order more later than to order too many and struggle, especially with something that can expire. Something that's like a sugar product. Okay, so let me switch sides. Okay, KAST Camp. So KAST Camp is something that's found in Maryland and Virginia, and so it's a student-run summer program for rising 4th through 6th graders, or 5th through 6th graders in Maryland, I believe. So most of the money we earn from KAST Camp is from fees for registration. It's not usually that high because we use any money from that for the room, which you have to rent from the local school system, and for materials. But the nice thing about KAST Camp is that if the parents of the children who are in the program see that their children had a really good time, they tend to be more willing to support KAST during the general school year, either by enrolling their students, giving donations, or just always a good thing. Grace, anything to add?
No, I think covered it.
Okay, down we go. Okay, other tactics. So we've kind of listed the basic ones, the ones that are most commonly used. It's definitely welcome to try other things. T-shirt sales traditionally aren't what we consider a fundraiser because we try to sell it for about the same price we buy them for. We're trying to spread a brand name rather than fundraise from our members. If you want to try something else, either selling something else or a completely different idea at all, just make sure you consider the upfront costs. You want to make sure that it's something that A, isn't preventive, and B, you can recoup later. You want to also make sure you consider if you'll be able to make a profit. Expanding all that effort just to break even is not an ideal situation. And you also want to make sure that you can execute whatever plan you have. Bake sales tend to take a few more people than, say, holding a restaurant fundraiser, which is hard by one person, but you can still manage it. With a bake sale, you really need to have multiple people for shifts, for baking everything. So just really consider the feasibility. But for the most part, these are actually fairly simple to execute as long as you maintain records of who's contributing and hold people accountable. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about grants and fundraisers first, and then Grace, do you want to contribute afterwards?
Okay.
Okay, so grants. We do occasionally get grants. We do apply for them. This is usually KAST National, although RM, I believe, has or had a grants VP or a fundraising VP. Grace, is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so typically with grants, you have to not only say why KAST is a good organization, but you may also need to provide proof of our financial spending or a projected budget plan. So for that, definitely email KAST National to get some additional information. And then restaurant fundraisers. They're interesting. I've done a couple for other organizations, and the shared characteristics are they need a lot of advertising, you need a lot of support from the student body, so you need to find a restaurant that's really popular, and they also tend to have a small profit margin just because very little of the actual check goes towards the organization that's being supported. Grace, do you have anything to contribute on that front if RM has been successful with restaurant fundraisers?
Restaurant fundraisers can be good, but like Suzanne said, they need a lot of advertising. But one good restaurant do if you're considering that is Chipotle, since they tend to give more of the profit margin to the organization, and a lot of people go there at any given day.
Awesome. Okay, Grace, anything else on the other fronts?
No.
Okay, trying to think. I believe that was the end of the PowerPoint. So we wrapped up fairly quickly. If you have any questions, you can email us. I believe all our contact info will be on the website fairly soon. Our KAST website, which we just revamped to WordPress or a different WordPress format. So that would be a cool thing to check out. Otherwise, I wish you all a good day, and I think we're done. Grace?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.